Hi there, my name is Nick. I'm from Theona team, and today I'm going to show you very briefly, I'm going to show you how we automated our LinkedIn outreach and how we find people based on buying signals. We'll use for this purpose Theona and LinkedIn. So for LinkedIn, we actually use sales, and let's start. Okay, and before we start, I will show you a logic behind our agents, and then I will share with you how our agents work inside Theona and how it connected to GetSales. But first, let's start from the basics. So before you sell something, you need to understand three things. First is your product and how you position this. In our case, we position Theona as a tool to replace cloud core founders or operations leads or from GTN teams. And we assume that they have two pains that we discovered before. And those pains are the following. I can't easily share what I made in Cloud Code with my team. That's true, because if you want currently share something with your team members or with your friend, you need to copy the skill to share it with your friend, and then the friend should manually set up everything on their end. The second pain is very common, that my Cloud Code setup runs only while my laptop is open. So we don't really want to just target everyone who lives in a particular country or who is like just a founder, because it's very wide ICP. We believe that there is something more specific and more relevant should be, and in our case, it's buying signals. So what I mean by buying signals, on LinkedIn, there are many people, they discuss different topics, different stuff, and they also not only they discuss, they post about this. So if you could only find prospects who posted something about this pain, so this would be a good signal for us that they are our potential clients, right? As an example, we can find posts, people mentioned the same issue, show how they solved this issue, how they managed to share their agents with other team members. It means that they are not only struggling with the issue, but also they try to find a solution. And this one is really good buying signals for us. So on this case, we won't scrape all this data and find potential leads. That's why we have our first agent, Signal Finder. And the idea here is like the same that just described before. So the agent like scrapes the LinkedIn and finds relevant posts and relevant comments where people actually discussed something about cloud code agents that can be shared, or they just share their experience, how they solve this. And this agent actually scrapes all this data and retrieves all the information about these leads. Once we retrieve this information and gather the list of such leads, we need to extract all the data about these leads. I mean, who they are, their country, position, what they're talking about, all the information that can help us to prepare outreach message properly. Then we have ICP score agent. This agent is very useful because when you have like bunch of potential clients and your resources are pretty limited, so you need somehow score and prioritize all your leads and focus only on most relevant. So this agent actually helps us to prioritize leads that we should focus on first. Then we have another agent which called Outreach Writer. This one gets all the context from the previous stages about the leads, about their comments, posts, whatever. And then this agent prepares a personalized emails and messages on LinkedIn. Then once we gathered all this information, now we have all the messages. We need to push this data to our CRM to store this in one place, and then just to refer to this data in case we need something about this lead. In our case, we use Attio. So in Attio, we store a lot of data about our leads. We store their like personal data, personal information, their source link, I mean the link to their post, comments, store their scoring, and different things like outreach text that we prepared. So this gives us the whole picture about our potential leads, who they are, what kind of issues they have, and how we can personalize our approach. Then we have GetSales agent. This agent gets all the information. It gets personalized messages that we prepared on the previous step, and then it just sends everything to GetSales workflow that I shared with you a bit later. And there is where magic happens. The last thing is definitely reporting. So you don't really want to work blindly. You need different reports to make the whole process transparent for you and for your team. So in our case, we have 3 different reports. So the first one, just live replies from LinkedIn. So once lead replied to our message, we got instant update in our Slack. You have a very small period of time where your lead is paying attention to you. So you need to act rapidly and reply as fast as possible. The second report, daily report, it's called like LinkedIn Post Scraper. The idea here is just the visibility. It shows us how many posts were found, how many leads were found, like the most interesting posts, and all this information that gives us a bit of context what they discussed and who are these people. And the last one called Booking Notifier. So once someone books a call with me or with my team, we definitely want to get as much data about this lead as possible to get prepared for the call. And this report actually shows us the previous context, what we were discussing with this lead, what kind of ideas we raised and the issues we discussed. And now let's see how everything works inside the Theona and GetSales. So what we have here, our first agent, LinkedIn Scraper. This one scrapes data from LinkedIn. It finds relevant posts where people discuss something about cloud code issues, how to run cloud code 24 hours, 7 days a week, all the stuff. So this agent actually scrapes this data. Then we have another agent that transfers the data from the LinkedIn to Attio backlog and then to GetSales. We have another agent which called Workshop GetSales Outreach, the same as a LinkedIn Scraper, but check list of clients who visited our workshop and then outreach them also with a personalized email based on their activity during the workshop. Then this agent is actually Outreach Copywriter. This one prepares personalized emails and messages found before. And we have another agent, anti-AI style. So we don't really want to send like AI slope, something that people do not like, right? And so this agent helps to polish the message and make it more people-friendly, I would say. And then we have GetSales Operator Agent as 3 reports that I showed you before. So now we are in our GetSales account. And if you're not familiar with GetSales, this one is a very good tool to automate outreach on LinkedIn or by email. You can build the whole flow from the scratch or use the template. In my case, this one's very simple. So we outreach people, we send them connection request, and if they send this, then we send a very personalized message here that I will show you a bit later. And then if lead does not reply within 3 days, we send another message, which is also very general. And then we just close the conversation because we see that there is no interest from the lead. But in case our lead does not accept our connection request, we actually send them the email, which also a good strategy because some people, they just don't read LinkedIn, but they usually check their email boxes. So that's why we also use the strategy. And now the question is how we actually provide this personalized message from our agent to GetSales. And this is very easy. First of all, you need to open settings and custom fields. And here you can find 2 lines. First one is AI message. I created it manually, so you can do the same. But the idea here is that when our AI agent in Theona prepares a personalized message for a particular lead, let's say for David, then the agent marks this message with an attribute which called AI message, and then provides this information to GetSales. And that's why GetSales, okay, for David, we have to send this message. For Alex, we have sent this message. For Crystal, this message. And that's why, as I showed you before, here we have this AI message. So for David, this will be a specific message that will be different for Crystal, for Alex, and whatever. And that's how we personalized our outreach. And the best part in Theona, you don't really need to create API keys. And the best part in that, if you want to create the same flow in Theona, you don't need to generate new API keys. You don't need to build something manually. You just open Theona here. Then you find GetSales. You connect it. You connect your GetSales account. And let's proceed. You can just copy the flow that I showed you before in GetSales. This one. And personalize it based on your CRM that you use. Probably you use not Attio, but HubSpot. Maybe you don't use Slack, but you use Teams, for example, and you can just personalize it and use, so you don't need to like build it manually. Or you could even ask the whole space. You can open a chat here and ask anything you want and clarify anything you want. This is pretty easy to work with. And that's pretty it. And if you want to build something similar on your side, but you don't know how to start, just let me know and I'll help you to build this from the scratch, or to just copy my flow and use it. Thanks so much. Bye bye.